All right, Shalom. Before I get started, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Rakah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule and teach well. And also peace and safety to the ICAM that spread across the four corners of the world that's pushing out the truth with all diligence and putting their lives on the line to do so. And the brother Karash is out here out of Great Millstone, Atlanta. Here with the lesson. As you can see, Flock CEO says Americans must compromise on their privacy. All right. For matter of fact, let me see. So if you don't know what flock cameras are, it's a simple Google search. It says a flock camera is an AI-powered automated license plate number reader. It says made by Flock Safety that records and catalogs vehicles on public streets. All right. So it's basically a camera, that records your license. It says unlike standard security or traffic cameras that only stream live video or capture single snapshots, Flock cameras log specific vehicle data. They automatically capture. It says license plate numbers, even if missing or altered, vehicle make, model, and color, unique identity features like bumper stickers, roof racks, dents, and scratches, the exact time, date, and location of every passing car. All right, and this is tracking. This is Esau advancing his technology or his devices against the people. All right, and like it says here, Flock CEO says Americans must compromise on their privacy. Let's look into the word compromise. All right, so basically Esau has updated the traffic camera, man. The compromise meaning or definition. It says compromise is the past tense and past particle of the word compromise, which means to include, contain, or consist of consistent parts. Matter of fact, let me go to the etymology of the word compromise. It says early 15th century, it says a joint promise to abide by an arbiter's decision. It says to make a mutual promise. It says to send forth, to let go, or foretell, assure beforehand, or promise. You see, so to let go. All right. So you have to compromise or to let go of your privacy. All right. So because Esau wants to be the omnipotent power, and that's why America, is known, or is national, what's the word? Is national, symbol is the eagle. Because like the saying go, you have an eagle's eye view. All right, to where eagles can see. They have a very, very good vision. They fly at a certain altitude to where they can see their prey, and when they hunt, man. Okay, and there's Esau, man. All right, these flock cameras are just one of many devices that's leading to the mark of the beast, man. All right, so Esau wants you to compromise your privacy, even when you're driving. So even license plates is tracking. Yeah, we have our social security, our our debit cards, our phones. Esau is keeping all of this log data, for his his way of implementing the New World Order. All right, but so I'm gonna read a couple of scriptures. Lord willing, is edifying. This is Obadiah verse 3. It says, "The pride of thine heart hath deceived thee." Yeah, because your pride has made you implement all of these things to seek out your evil plans, right? But you're being deceived, because ultimately it isn't going to work. The Lord's going to put a halt to it. All right, like it tells you in Job, the 20th chapter, when he's about to fill his belly, So the Lord is going to intervene, man. All right. It says, "Thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock," which is Esau, "whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who will bring me down to the ground?" All right. So that's pride, man. All right. It says, whose habitation is high. All right. For someone to live, in a high place, it symbolizes being proud, and that's why the elites live, in high altitudes, man. No one, even lives near or close to them, man. They probably stay in the mountains, It says, verse 4, "Though that thou exalt thyself as the eagle," which is Esau, Babylon, also known as America, man. It says, and thou set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down, saith the Lord. So the Lord is going to bring you down. So all of these things that you're doing about compromising your privacy, putting chips inside of people, Revelation, the 13th chapter, all of this, the charagma, man, but ultimately you're going to have to compromise, on when we get in the kingdom. You're going to be the one who have to compromise, man. You won't have no privacy. You won't have the ability to even, do nothing that you want. Not even sleep. All right. That's why we have to be, on point and watchmen for Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai, because Esau is on the prowl, man. This is 2 Corinthians chapter 2 and verse 11. "Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices." And we all know, like we say, those devices that word devices goes into evil plans. All right, so you can't be ignorant of Satan's devices, man. All right. All of these things are working towards Esau's New World Order. So we pray to Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai to protect us from those things, man. Okay? So this is another implementation of the MOTB. Tracking. Updating the traffic cameras with AI technology, man. All right, to where they can detect scratches on your cars or dents in your bumpers, man. All right. So I just wanted to briefly touch on that. Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. I'm going to go ahead and close up by giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai, B'Shem Rakakodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. And until the next time, Shalom.